Hi, welcome to Blossom Your Creativity. My name is Debbie, and I'm so happy you stopped by for a visit. On my channel, I like to do DIYs, and I love to do faux foods. This is your kind of jam. You're in the right place, so we can be creative together. Now, if you like what I'm doing, please leave me a thumbs up, comment, and share. And if you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's free. Simply hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified for new videos. So let's get started and craft away. Today's challenge is Creators Dupes, and it's hosted by DIY with Ari and One Way Designs. And I am your co-host, and I'm happy to be here. Now, the creators that I chose to dupe is first Brenda. She is from Rustic and Lace, and the item that I'm duping is her little planter she made. So cute. So I started out with these 4 pieces of fence. These are from the Dollar Tree, and so you just want to remove that string, and then I gave each one of them a coat of chalk paint, Waverly white chalk paint, and I made sure that I got in between the slats and the piece that's holding them together, because you don't want to look through the planter and see the raw wood. So once I have those all painted up and dried, then we'll go on to the next step. So now I'm debating on how I should put these together. There was 2 different ways. I could do it inside or on the outside of the corners, and I chose to attach them to the outside. And I originally had the thought of using that box. You could kind of see it in the side. But unfortunately the box was too small, and then I had another one that was too big. So, it's like the little saying, it's, one is too much, one is too little. So I had to go with an alternative solution. But here I am just attaching each side with some hot glue. Originally I wasn't sure if it was going to hold, but it held pretty well. And so here I am measuring. And so then I decided, okay, let's just add some slats to the bottom of the box, just using some craft sticks and cutting them down, and then I'm just going to glue them, and then that will give me my bottom so that I can attach my floral foam inside there, and you'll see that in a few minutes. So here I'm trying to put the foam in with the lid from the box, and that wasn't working, so I just removed it. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of decor to the one corner of the fence. I thought it needed a little something, and so I just got this little greenery pick. I believe it's from Walmart, and so I'm just adding a couple, I think they're called boxwood, so I'm just adding a couple of those leaves to that corner. And then I have these little faux roses, like paper roses, and they came in a set. You can see them over to the right hand side, and I just took 2 bunches apart and intertwined them together, so I had a different color variation. And then I just hot glued them to that one corner. I thought one little bunch was enough. And then I took this ribbon ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to wrap that around. That was what Brenda had in her DIY. So I'm just going to add that ribbon all the way around. And then once I got that on there, I felt like I needed a little bit more color. So you'll see I'm going to add a piece of purple ribbon, and that will correspond with my flowers in the right hand corner. So I'm just going to simply glue a piece of the purple ribbon around on top of that burlap ribbon, and then I'll create a finger bow and then add that to the front. And now I'll just add another little paper rose just in the middle of that bow. All right, so now let's work on the flower arrangement. I am not very good at flower arranging. That's my mom's expertise, so usually she helps me, but I was on my own this time. So I'm just taking some of those boxwood greenery and some little white picks. Those ones are from the Dollar Tree, and the boxwood and the lavender came from Walmart. So I'm just filling them all in, and I'm putting them in the floral foam before I put it in the box, because those slats aren't, very secure, so I didn't want to put a lot of pressure on them and cause them to come detached. And then in order to hide that floral foam, I am adding some of this moss, and I'm just putting it on with some glue and making sure I cover just the top, because you don't see the sides once it's down inside the box. And you'll see this in the final reveal. So now let's go on to DIY number 2. This one was inspired by Ari. She created a platform with 3 cute little bird houses. So here I am. I'm going to try to recreate what she made. So I started out with 3 houses from the Dollar Tree, and I had these little sticks from the Dollar Tree as well. So I'm painting one house with lime sherbet, the other one with orange sherbet, and then the bigger one with the light yellow. My husband found this piece of board in our stash, and he bored little holes to put the sticks in, and then he just painted it white for me. I thought it'd be easier just to spray paint it, but I didn't know he was going to spray paint the sticks. I wanted him to be natural, so I went in and colored them. Started off with the wax. I didn't like the way that looked, so I went with elephant gray, and it really looked like kind of birchwood color, so I was really happy with that. So now it's time to paint the roofs, and I'm using that antique wax, and I'm just using a little bit of water just to make it not so intense of a color. And then I'm just going to, the first time it looked like it was a little wet, so it wasn't as dark as I would want it. So I just added a little bit more wax. So I'm simply just going in one direction, and once that dries a little bit, I go back in the opposite direction, and that gives me a really good tone on the roof. And so I do that for all 3 of the houses. Now I didn't want to paint the fascia, which is the front edge, and I left that white. The roof on the little greenhouse was a little bit different, and I thought using that same technique was perfect because it gave it a really nice look. So here I'm just showing you that I painted the inside of the flowers, and that gave it like a 3D look. So now I'm going to add my little bird on top, but I need to put a little bit of moss up there. I try to use, the darker color, make it look more like a nest. I didn't want it to be green. And then once I hot glued that on, that's where that hanger was, so we needed to cover that up. So once I hot glued that on, I put the bird, and that one was complete. Now I needed to add an embellishment on the greenhouse, and I had this cute little bird that I had painted, so I just hot glued that onto the front as if it was on the perch. Now I'm going to add some of this greenery moss to the base where my sticks are, just so that you don't see the hole. And I'm just going to simply put a little bit of hot glue, add the greenery, and then use my little tool there so I don't burn my fingers, because that glue will go right through the moss, so you don't want to burn your fingers. So once I get all three perches, or the area under the perch done, I'll go ahead and add each house, and I will use a good amount of hot glue to make sure they don't come off. Then I added one final embellishment, another little bird, and you'll see that in the final reveal. And here is my house. Isn't it cute? Houses, I should say. I want to thank Ari for the inspiration to recreate these little houses. They're not exactly as hers, and they're not supposed to be. It's just a inspiration, and I did my own spin on it. So I hope you guys like what I did, and let's see how I did Brenda's. Another great inspiration piece. It's very similar to Brenda's. I did add, different flowers and add a little bit more color to the bow. But it's really, it's very similar to hers. And I am here pairing this with a little bunny rabbit because it's spring and we're getting ready for Easter. So I want to thank everyone for stopping by to see my creator Dupes, and I hope my DIYs inspire you to make your own. And keep crafting and stay safe. Bye-bye now.